Alright, so I'm going to start off with this helmet now. Got it all taken apart. So I'm going to start with a visor. What I'm going for here is I'm going to try to do the Maverick helmet from Top Gun, kind of. Instead of saying Maverick, I'm going to try to have like my logo on it saying Chemical Sport or Chem Sport. Trying to get this airbrush and it's not really doing that great of a job. It's one of those ones with a bottle on it. Trying to get that to spray on there. It's not really doing all that well. Might have to get a different piece for it, because this is what you would call a bottom loader. There's supposed to be a reservoir on top. There's other ones with a reservoir on top, and it feeds the paint downwards using gravity, as opposed to trying to suck the paint up on the side of a little jar with a tube in it. So I'm not having the best luck here, but I'm trying to work with what I got. I got it kind of working. I've been working back and forth, shaking the bottle up, cleaning out the airbrush. It seems the paint was getting a little sticky in there. So it looks like it's coming out pretty decent. I don't expect this thing to come out perfect. I'm not a pro. This is actually my first time using an airbrush. And if I didn't tape that right, you'll probably see some jagged lines. Well, this is fun. Look at that. Look at it. Here at my friend's house, he let me use his airbrush. So I'm going to peel all this off and take a look at it. He's over here playing Streets of Rage 4 on good old Xbox. Let's get this tore off and see how it looks.
Bundle add-ons.
Not too bad. Still got some work to do. This is my first time. I just maxed it off with some tape. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, it doesn't look perfect. I don't expect it to be perfect. Still got a lot of work to do. And this is just the visor cover. So I got more to do on this and then the rest of that helmet. So this is pretty much just step one. Testing it out. It's not too bad. It'll probably be better if I get some painter's tape. I was using regular Scotch tape. Made some purchases off Amazon simultaneously. So I don't even know what came in. So I'm curious as to what's in this box. Feels very light. Let's take a look here. Okay, so if you have an F-body, you know sometimes when you go to pop the hatch, it doesn't open all the way. So I'm going to be installing a spring into the release for the trunk, because then it helps push that release open a little more, or pulls it open, whichever. And sometimes, especially when the struts are going out on your hatch, it won't open all the way. Even though you hit the button, it'll pop up a little bit, but it'll still be technically in a closed position to where you can't open it all the way. I'm hoping this spring eliminates that. Let's see what else is in this box. Should be okay. Power steering cooler kit. I also have some speakers on the way because the speakers in my car are blown. They're the factory ones. The thing sucks about it is I have the 500 watt monsoon system in my car, and those speakers blew out. They're paper, cone, whatever, but I mean, they sound great. They hit hard for being factory. It's just they don't hold up that long. Wow, this thing is it's not very big at all. So I'm going to have this mounted into the car, probably like right on front of the radiator. Comes with some really good quality tubing. It looks like about almost 2.5 feet, I'm guessing. Got some clamps for it. There's screw-on ones. I kind of like the ones that use pliers that pinch, but these will do. Like a couple of ties here. So you run it through these holders, and then it just ratchets down on top of it automatically. That's pretty cool. Okay, installation instructions on how to do this. The problem with the F-body Camaros, the power steering pump, they overheat, and then the fluid inside, power steering fluid, will start boiling out the top and it'll cause your reservoir to go dry, and that's something that you really don't want to happen because it'll shorten the lifespan of your power steering pump. Bought these items on Amazon. Derail Performance, Leader in Performance Cooling, Power Steering Cooler Kit, hardware kit. Got the dimensions there. All right, extends pump and seal life, reduces heat-related pump failure. 1/2-inch copper tubing, expanded into aluminum cooling fins. 1/32 hose bar inlets, extrude plastic cooling fin guards, black powder coat finish. Kit includes cooler assembly, mounting hardware with illustrated instructions. Stock number 13,200. And then these springs, handyman springs. Let's see, general uses: cot bedding, marine, outdoor furniture, screen doors, trampoline, lawnmower, automotive, hobby horse, hobbies, appliances, toys, gates. Many things go over that. And that part number is SP9610. One of the first things I'm going to show you to do here is install that spring into the trunk lid area. Let's get this going. The reason for the spring, in most cases with these F-bodies, these hatches are pretty heavy. Sometimes the struts go out. And sometimes when you go to pop the hatch, it doesn't come up all the way. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But let's see what happens this time. I'm going to pop it with my key fob here. See if it sounds like it opened up all the way, but most of the time you'd have to pop it again and lift up on the trunk at the same time to get that open. It's very easy to get in here. All you got to do is pull this carpet back. Don't pull it back like too hard or too far or too quick. You don't want to just tear it. Just kind of peel it out of its housing there easily as possible, not too hard. And you can see that spring there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spring here and I'm going to just kind of piggyback on this one. So I'm going to like just insert in the top here. And I'm going to get myself some pliers and I'm going to connect it up under through the bottom as well. All right, it works out very well. It actually pops up higher than it did before. So I'll go ahead and release that trunk. Get my finger in there. No problem. Very nice. Well, that concludes that. So pretty soon I'll be putting on the power steering cooler. So if I need a few more parts that I have ordered, I will put a link in the description for every part that I have used for this video here, including the springs, the transmission cooler, or I'm sorry, the power steering cooler itself, and some hoses that will be needed. You will also need some coolant and power steering fluid as well. All right, so there's the helmet. So I painted it all black with just spray can paint all the way around. Used to be green. Got those stripes in there, which I used regular office Scotch tape. So I still got a long way to go. I'm waiting on a new airbrush that I ordered off of Amazon because that other one was garbage. Plus my friend was good enough to let me use his airbrush. So after I'm done with it, of course, he keeps that new airbrush that's on the way. So I hope it's better quality because those bottom feeders, no good. The gravity feed airbrushes, they seem more fantastic. So I can't wait to get this thing finished. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you would like. I would appreciate that. There's more content on the way. I still have to do the power steering pump cooler, which I'm going to get all that installed. And what that does is it lowers the temperature of the power steering fluid. So that way it prolongs the life of your power steering pump. And it doesn't run through the coolant system, so you have to switch out the hose. I think it's on the SLP cars, 2000 to 2002, that have this extra tubing up in that radiator area for the coolant that has a little galley for the power steering pump to run through. Because in I guess in theory, if that power steering pump fluid runs through that coolant galley, it would cool it off, but in turn it actually like heats it up, so it's more of a heater. I was having a problem that the fluid would boil and it would come out the top of the reservoir, and it would pretty much start to dry itself out, and I would have to refill it. I would clean off the reservoir and it would just be all slimy again. So it's going to be a great upgrade, and it's also going to probably help the engine run cooler as well as far as the cooling goes, because it's not recycling that hot fluid of power steering pump back into that cooling galley. So I'm going to show you all that. I'm going to try to break it down as much as possible. So stay tuned. And this is Chemical Spore out.